Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching on Facebook and YouTube. It's the beginning of the week. I hope that you had a very nice weekend. The weather here was very good on Saturday and Sunday, and today looks the same. So that's great news for everybody. And there's less restrictions from today, so things are opening a little more. The plan for this video is to give a free class again to continue with the initiative of the free classes. And on the left, you can see the plan for this week. So this is the 17th week of the year. And excuse me, in the morning at 9 o'clock, we have a speaking group and a speaking session just to practice some English for people. And you are welcome to join us every morning at 9 o'clock. Also now at 11:15, we begin the free classes. And the objective is to show some vocabulary, some expressions and some native English. That's really the objective, to help little by little. Every day we practice a little, and specific webinars in the afternoons at 4 o'clock. We have different topics. For example, today is Monday, and the topic for today's class or webinar at 4 o'clock is grammar. And you're welcome to join as well. So it will just focus on a specific topic for grammar, and we will do questions and exercises as well. So you are very welcome to join, and that's the plan for the week. So it'd be very similar compared to previous weeks. And today, maybe we have the introduction document very quickly, and the focus will be on the native speaking expressions, native phrasal verbs, and maybe native expressions and vocabulary. That's really the objective of the class, to try and help you understand our vocabulary and the expressions that we use. Also, I have an article from the business section, so we can look at some vocabulary specifically from business as well. You can see the topic here is the difference between Facebook and Apple in relation to a new feature or new part of Facebook, and it's just some very good vocabulary as well in relation to this topic. So that's the plan for today, to maybe analyze that text, to analyze that article. So that's really the plan. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the class. I hope we've no problem with connection. I hope we've no disruption with people, and the same with you. Probably you're working from home, and hopefully you can understand the class and follow the class well. So social media, if you want to connect, you can find me on social media with Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And you are welcome to connect, and you're very, very welcome to follow the channels, and we try to upload some information every day in relation to the social media. Everything is free, so this class is free, and some people who are watching on Facebook or YouTube might want to make a donation or to make a tip, and you are very welcome to support me. There are 3 or 4 possibilities. The bank transfer directly is probably the most preferable, with the details here at the bottom. The second possibility is the application Revolut with the mobile phone number as well. And the third possibility is the application typical in Spain, Bizum. So if you want to make a donation at the end or a small tip, that would be fantastic. And hopefully I can continue working in this way for the moment. I have a little help from the government because of the pandemic, and it was difficult to continue working. So this is an initiative or a project to try to reconstruct and to adapt to all the changes, and hopefully I can continue working better in the future. Okay, so that's all the information. So first, this document is familiar with everybody, so I recommend that you have this document. I recommend that you review this document because it has all the important aspects of English. It has all the important terms of English. And for me, basically, there are 3 sections when you learn English. The first section is use of English. The second section are the tenses that we use. And the third section is other grammar topics and other grammar terms that we have in English. So for me, this document is very, very important, and it contains practically all the important information when you learn English. So basically, use of English is related to different accents. In Ireland, we have an accent. In Dublin, there's possible you can hear lots of different accents in Dublin, in Ireland, in England. We have very different accents in every part of the world in relation to English. Manchester, Liverpool, London, Glasgow in Scotland, very, very different. And the United States, New York, Boston, Texas. There's so many different accents and different dialects and vocabulary that sometimes English is very difficult to understand when you listen. The second part of use of English are phrasal verbs. They're very unique and they're very important, basically a verb and a preposition. And we have thousands of phrasal verbs, but honestly, I think it's a very important area for people to study because they are so important and we use them all the time. Similarly, idioms or expressions are very frequent in English, and we use idioms in conversation all the time, in movies, in series. So it's possible you can hear idioms and expressions all the time. So for this reason, it's very important to learn idioms. And again, we have thousands of expressions. And here you can see a list of phrasal verbs that every day we try to explain, and also a list of idioms that we also try to explain every day. So they're the really important part of this class, and that's the objective of this class, really. Okay, so also conversation, it's a recommendation that you try to practice your conversation, that you try to regularly practice speaking English. That's the best way to improve and to maintain your English little by little. It's good to think in English and to practice, and also pronunciation. I try to help in this class in relation to pronunciation, because in English we have some words that are tricky and difficult for pronunciation. The tenses or the times, it's necessary you're familiar with the present, the past, and the future. So do you speak in the present? Do you speak about the past? Do you speak about the future? And in English, we have different times. The concept of different times or tenses are very important. So for example, we have the present simple, past simple, future simple. The past simple has a lot of irregular verbs. We have the present continuous, past continuous, future continuous. I am eating, I was eating, I will be eating. We have the perfect, I had eaten, that's the past perfect. And then I have eaten is the present perfect. So it's important, the concept of the perfect, and also the future perfect is a possibility as well. Also, the infinitive is the base of the verb to eat, to drink, to go, to have. Infinitive. We have conditionals. Conditionals are very heavy in the book. You have the theory, the zero, first, second, third, mixed conditional in the book, and the rules are very important for the structures. But in reality, they're a little less strict and a little more flexible in relation to the use. So be a little relaxed, I suppose, about the conditional, but in the book, it's very heavy. Also, the active and the passive is very important, and that's another tense and another structure that we have in English. So they're the most important tenses. In relation to grammar topics, we have a noun. Every noun, you need an article, a or the. It's possible an. If the noun begins with a vowel, we have an adjective, and the function of the adjective is to describe the noun, okay? And the position of the adjective is before the noun. For example, a big house, okay? In Spanish, I think the position is different, but in English, it's a article, adjective, noun, okay? The concept of countable in relation to nouns is important. Can you count the noun? For example, bottle, pens, jackets, telephones, countable, but we have a lot of uncountable, for example, air, water, chocolate, and this is important in relation to how much and how many. How much is in relation to uncountable, how much money, how much water, how much time, and how many is related to countable, how many people, how many days, how many weeks. The function of the adjective is to describe the noun. Also, we have the comparative and the superlative. When you compare two things, this house is big, the other house is bigger than this house, but the next house is the biggest. Okay, so that area of comparative and superlative is very, very important. Adverbs, the function of the adverb is to describe the verb, and the adverb normally ends in ly, quickly, slowly, rapidly, happily. In Espanol, mente, suavemente, lentamente, felizmente. So in English, the adverb is after the verb, and the function of the adverb is to describe the verb. Drink quickly, talk slowly. So it's very, very important. Modal verbs. Modal verbs are a particular group of verbs in English we use for different situations. For example, can is for ability, could, possibility, may and might are possibility. Shall is maybe formal for the question will. Should and ought to are for recommendation and for advice. Must and have to are obligation. The modal verbs are very important and we use them very, very frequently in English. Okay, prepositions. Prepositions are little, small words that are key for direction they're key for movement, and they're key for position. That's the significance of the preposition. We have 150 prepositions approximately, and they also are a big part of creating the phrasal verb. Okay, so prepositions are key. The next section is called possessive adjective, possessive pronoun, or object pronoun. Okay, so the difference between my bottle, your bottle, his bottle, her bottle. Okay, that's the possessive adjective. The second possibility is the possessive pronoun. The bottle is mine, the bottle is yours, the bottle is his, the bottle is hers. And the third possibility is the object pronoun. Give the bottle to me, give the bottle to you, give the bottle to him, and give the bottle to her. Particularly masculine and feminine is the typical confusion. So you need to be very clear in relation to that. The difference between this, that, these, and those is related to singular and plural, and also position. The difference between another, other, the other, and the others is related to generally singular and plural, and options, and a group of people. How to create a question is an important part as well. So how to create the question in English is a big topic, and I recommend, of course, that you try to prepare, research, and study how to create the questions. I try to help maybe during the class. Suffixes and prefixes are very important. They give you a big indication of the form of the word. Is the word a noun? Is it adjective? Is it verb? Is it adverb? The suffix is the little end of the word, and this is a big indicator and a secret to identify the correct form of the word. Linkers or conjunctions, we have some simple linkers, some simple conjunctions, but also we have some more advanced and more formal linkers, and it's very, very important that you are aware of the differences between the formality of the linkers, because it's important that you use them appropriately. And vocabulary. So people want to improve vocabulary. The best way to improve vocabulary is to read. You need to read specific articles, newspapers, magazines, books. You need to read a lot, and this is the best way to improve and to grow your vocabulary. So reading is very, very important to learn English, definitely, to improve your vocabulary, and also to see grammar in action. Okay, writing is also a different skill and very important. And exam preparation. So every week we have different groups dedicated to exam preparation, and the Cambridge exams or the IELTS exams are very popular also. So that's important to prepare for exams. And again, on Wednesday, we have the IELTS exam at 4 o'clock. On Thursday, we have the advanced group at 4 o'clock. And on Saturday, we have the B2 first certificate group at 1 o'clock. So there's lots of possibilities for you to join if you want. And that's the most important document for me. So this is a big document. There's a lot of information in that document, but that is basically English in a nutshell. That's an expression. We say English in a nutshell, or my holiday in a nutshell. Basically, it means in a summary. Okay, so in a nutshell is the expression, and the significance is summary. Okay, so can you explain your weekend in a nutshell? The nut is nuet, and the shell is like typical for the animal. The tortoise or the turtle has the shell. So in a nutshell is basically in a summary. Can you give me a description of the hotel in a nutshell? So it's just an expression, okay, or an idiom. And that document is very, very important, okay? And next we are going to look at maybe an article. Okay, so we'll start immediately with an article from the BBC Business page. Okay, so it's a news, it's in relation to BBC and business. It's also in relation to Facebook and Apple. So this is just a story. The topic is business, so the vocabulary is probably related to business. And we see some very, very important expressions. And first I will read a little, and then I'll just analyze the expressions and the key vocabulary. So Facebook, V, or versus. So it's very typical to say versus or V. Okay. Apple, the ad is like the advertisement. So it's possible advertisement, it's possible ad, it's possible advert. So we have 2 or 3 possibilities: ad, advert, or advertisement. They're the typical vocabulary that we use. And tracking, row. Remember the significance of this word is very, very common and very important. We have a lot of differences. For example, row The first significance is a row in the cinema, front row, second row, third row, back row. That's the first significance, like a line. Then you can also say 2 days in a row, and that means 2 days consecutively. Okay, so 2 days in a row means 2 days consecutively, 3 days in a row, or victories, 2 victories, or three victories in a row, and the significance is consecutively. Okay, so here it's about tracking the advertisement, very technical activity on Facebook and the social media. They track the advert, and here we have a phrasal verb, to heat up. Okay, so this is very, very important. The noun is the heat. Okay, so this is a very, very important family. The noun is the heat. The verb is to heat. Okay, the adjective is hot, and very, very important. But the phrasal verb is to heat up, typical with food. When your food is cold, because you do not have time to eat your dinner. So when the food is cold, you put the food in the microwave to heat up. Okay, so heat the food up is related to obviously food. And the second possibility is an argument, because an argument heats up, and the significance is it's more serious, it's more a lot of tension, and the situation is heating up. There's a bit more anger, people are angry. So that's very, very important in relation to an argument. And here, the first significance is row, like the line, but the second significance is related to sport. Like in the canoe or in the boat, you row the boat. So it's remar, I think in Espanol, row the boat. So the pronunciation is completely different. We say front row, but the verb to row is typical in sport, like the canoe. And then the third possibility is very, very interesting. We say to row. The pronunciation is completely different, and the significance is to fight. So if you try to row with your friend, the significance is you have a fight or you have an argument with your friend. Okay, so that's the significance here, because a row is a fight. And here, the advertisement tracking dispute, argument, fight heats up. So it gets more tension, more anger. Very, very good vocabulary. Okay, so that's the topic of the video. That's the topic of the article. That's the topic of the news here. And you can see Tim Cook of Apple and Mark Zuckerberg. So now I'm just going to read a little bit more. And they say a new feature. So a feature is like a characteristic. What is the feature of Ireland in a person? You have the features, for example, a big nose. My feature is a big nose or big ears. That's a feature of my face. It's like a characteristic of my face. Also in music, maybe it could be your character, it could be your physical appearance. Okay, it's like a characteristic of your physical appearance. In relation to music, you have the singer is the principal singer, and the song, the music is featuring another artist. So it's like part of, okay? So for example, Rihanna sings the song, but the song is featuring Pitbull. So an amazing combination, I imagine. So the verb to feature in relation to music, or for example, the movie features Tom Hanks, and that means Tom Hanks is part of the movie. Okay, so it's very, very important. And also here, in relation to the Facebook, a new feature, it's like a new function, a new tool, a new characteristic is being introduced. That's the passive. Okay, it's complicated because the passive, we need the extra verb to be plus the participle of the original verb. So the verb here is to be, it's the present continuous, and the participle is introduced to iPhones and iPads this week. So also it's very important, this week and next week. So for example, this Wednesday is in 2 days, but next Wednesday is in 9 days. So there's a big difference in relation to time between this week and next week. For example, this Wednesday is not tomorrow, but the next day. Okay, so it's in 2 days, but then we can say next Wednesday. And the significance is not tomorrow, not the next day, but the next week. So it's 9 days. So there's a big difference between this week and next week. So that's very, very important. So this week is today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, causing Again, it's probably the present continuous. The verb is to cause, but the present continuous is causing. A huge, so that's the article. Huge is the adjective, and rift is the noun. Okay, so huge is very good vocabulary. Enormous, gigantic, very, very big. And rift is very, very good vocabulary. It's like a argument. It's like a row. Here you can see a row, like an argument. But a rift is like a separation. Okay, I think it's related to geography. So if you have a rift in the stone, maybe it's like a separation, but basically a rift is a separation or an argument or a fight or a disagreement. Okay, very strong, very advanced, but very, very good vocabulary. So they're having a rift, and the significance is they're having an argument, okay, between Apple and Facebook. You can also say among, okay, so between or among or amongst, no problem. They're all very, very, very similar. It will, so it is the argument. I think it's the company maybe, or the feature. So it is the subject, and probably it's related to the feature. I think that's the significance. It will is the future, will allow, future simple, will go, will eat, will have, will allow, will permit, will let. So there's synonyms here between the verb to allow, to permit, and to let. Very, very important vocabulary. And there's one rule. Well, normally the next verb, for example, to let me go, let you have, allow you to go. So probably with let, we have the next verb in the infinitive, but we eliminate to. Okay, let me have, let you go, let me see. So we eliminate let me to see, we eliminate to, the preposition. Okay, so the feature will allow device users. So typically the suffix er is for the person. So the verb is to use, and a user is a person who uses the device. Okay, to say no, to, so that's a typical structure. I say yes to you. I say yes to the party. I say no to you. I say no to the party. So the preposition to is connected to that structure. Say yes to me. Say no to me. Having their data. Remember, this is the possessive adjective. My data, your data, his data, masculine, her data, feminine, our data, your data, sorry, their data, plural, for ellos, for they and them and their. So you need to be very, very clear with these differences. Okay, so here we have, for example, they, them, and their. So also I'm going to give you another possibility, theirs, and they is the subject. Them is the object pronoun, subject pronoun, possessive adjective, and the possessive pronoun. Okay, so welcome to English. That's a really, really important lesson. And a lot of people confuse these structures and these connections. So that's very, very important. So it's their data, the user's data collected by apps. Okay, Facebook has been put in a spin. So this is a really, really fluent expression. So first we have the verb to be in the present perfect, but also we have a participle. So this is an example of the auxiliary verb to be plus the participle. So it's probably the passive. Okay, so that and then the expression is to put somebody in a spin. Okay, so that's very, very good expression, very advanced and very difficult to explain. To put someone, but that's my job, put someone in a spin. Basically the verb to spin is very important as well. It's this action. Okay, and for the washing machine, you can spin the washing machine in the playground. You can spin the child. For the bottle, we have a game where you spin the bottle, and that's typical for teenagers to spin the bottle. And we also say spin the wheel. If you want to play the lottery, you have to spin the wheel. And a lot of very, very good vocabulary. Also, spinning class is the significance of cycling. A bicycle class, exercise on the bicycle in the gym, is the spinning class because the wheel spins. You can say my head is spinning. Always after this English class, your head is spinning because it's very stressful and very a lot of information. So also after the party, maybe you have a late night and no sleep, so your head is spinning. And to put somebody in a spin is maybe to make somebody very confused. So if you put me in a spin, the significance is you ask me a lot of difficult questions, and I'm thinking, and I'm very confused. So if you put me in a spin, the significance is it's maybe a chaos, it's a problem. And here it's the passive. So another person or another thing put Facebook in a spin, and that's the reason it's the passive. Very advanced, very important grammar explanation. By is another indicator of the passive. This, and again, we need to find the solution or the significance of this. So this is probably the possibly the new feature, possibly the new situation. And I hope maybe you can hear the garden. There's a machine in the field, so hopefully you cannot hear too much the noise in the back. But basically here, by this, we need to find the significance of this, and maybe it's the new situation. It could be the argument, it could be the rift, okay? Because user data and the advertising. So advertising is the activity. In school you study, in university you study advertising. So advertising is the subject, asignatura in Espanol. Okay, subject is advertising. It can, again, it is very, very important in English. Always we need the subject because the verb is can, but we have no subject. So we need to introduce a subject, and the subject is advertising. So it's almost repetition. Generate is the next verb, but because it's a modal, the next verb is to generate. But because the modal is first, we eliminate the preposition to. Can go, can have, can generate, okay, is what makes the company so profitable. So this structure, to make somebody happy. So here we have the adjective profitable and the structure to make. And I'm going to show you a few examples. To make him happy, to make them hungry. So that's a structure, okay? And your action makes me angry. Your action makes me happy. Depends on your action. So here, the adjective is profitable. And also in relation to profit, you need to be clear the difference between profit and benefit. So profit in English is more financial, money in the company. Okay, so the company makes a profit, and that's money, money, money. Okay, and a benefit in English is completely different. Obviously similar, but it is different. But a benefit is maybe food, a benefit from the company, food from the company, a car from the company. In English, we say stationery, like paper, pens, that's stationery. And that's the difference between profit and benefit. So profit is financial money, and benefit is more like an advantage, like health insurance, holidays. So that's the big, big difference. And here it's money, and the adjective is profitable. So the suffix able is typical for adjective, okay? Imaginable, reachable, manageable. We have a lot of words that end with the suffix able, and that represents adjective. And remember, so is to intensify. So you are happy, but you're so happy. You are hungry, but you're so hungry. So it intensifies a little. So the advertising is what makes the company so profitable. Okay, so advertising is the reason the company makes a lot of money. This update, the verb is to update your technology, update your information, update your computer. You receive an update from your friend in relation to the news. So date is like time, and up is to move. So for example, yesterday, this was the news, but today, different date, you have more news, so you need to update. That is logical, okay? Could is the modal verb for possibility. May, might, could. Deal a severe blow. Very, very good vocabulary. Very, very fluent. To deal you a good hand is typical in poker, you know, the game, the card game. And the dealer is the person who distributes the cards. So if I deal you a good hand in relation to poker, that means I give you a good opportunity to win the game. And here also, it's this update is the subject, and the update basically distributes or gives a severe blow. So a is the article, so the noun is a blow, And the adjective is severe, which is very strong. Obviously, I think it's similar in Spanish and Portuguese. So a blow is very important because the verb is to blow. And I think it's soufflar, like this action, for example, the food is very hot. So you have to blow the food. We have a lot of possible expressions with the verb to blow. So maybe you can blow the food. We say to blow up, which is a phrase, a verb to explode. Okay, so for example, the bomb, it detonates, the bomb blows up, it explodes. The person is very angry, very frustrated, and eventually they will blow up. So it's very, very flexible. And another expression, to blow up out of proportion, a story. So for example, proportion is the typical expression. So to blow up out of proportion is the story. For example, your friend tells you a story and the story is very simple, the story is very basic, but I tell my other friend the story and I exaggerate the story. I dramatize, I exaggerate the story. So I blow up the story out of proportion. So it's a famous expression. Also the car in the tire, the pneumatico, if you blow up the tire, the significance is that you put air into the tire. So to blow up the tire. To blow up also could be to, to blow, as I said, very angry, but we say to blow your opportunity is to waste your opportunity. So if you blow your opportunity, you will waste your opportunity. So it's very famous to blow it. And that means to waste your opportunity, waste your chance. Okay, so it's very, very famous expression. And here, a blow in the substantivo is like an impact. So if it's a blow, it's like an impact. Okay, an impact, or also damage. Okay, it's very typical damage. So for example, you want to buy a new house and you pay the money, you agree everything, and everything is prepared, everything is ready to move into the house. But the last day, there's a big catastrophe with the house, there's a big disaster, and it's not possible to move into the house. So this is a big impact, it's a big blow. Okay, and that's the significance here. So the update could distribute a very strong damage or blow or impact to its. So remember, this is possession adjective again. My business model, your business model, his business model, the company, Facebook, because it's not masculine, it's not feminine, it's for this reason we say it's, because it's not in English, it's not masculine, it's not feminine. The company is maybe neutral. So for this reason we say it's. It's the same with Dublin. Dublin, for the possession, its city, its shopping centres, its pubs are very good. So for that reason, it's the object pronoun and possession. Okay, so because in Spanish you'd probably say Dublín, su bares están muy bien, pero aquí we say Dublin, its bars. Okay, interesting. So maybe the next paragraph, what's it about? So what's the argument, what's the feature, what's the problem, what are the details? The row or the argument or the fight focuses on the typical preposition in English with focus is on. I need to focus on my studies, focus on my mathematics, focus on my job. So it's typical to focus on. Here we have the article, and remember, every article we need the noun, a device, and a unique device. This is strange because normally when the word begins with a vowel, a, e, I, o, u, we normally have an unique, but this is an exception. Okay, so a unique device identifier on every iPad. So the preposition on is for the screen. So normally a surface, we say on the road, on the wall, on the body, because it's a surface, on the computer, on the internet. And here's the same, the iPhone and the iPad, it's on because it's the surface. Companies, so here's the subject, and basically it's repetition. This is the relative pronoun. The technical name is relative pronoun. So basically it's a substitution for companies. It's almost repetition. Sell, remember the verb to sell. the past is sold, the noun is a sale, and the prepositions or the phrasal combinations are on sale and for sale. Okay, so every week this word is important, but it's still really, really key that you understand perfectly. The verb is to sell. The past is I sold. The noun is a sale. We also say on sale, which means available. The tickets are on sale, available, or the tickets are sold out. They are not available. Or the property, the apartment, the house is for sale. So the detail is very, very important in relation to that verb to sell. Including Facebook, use this IDFA to target. Okay, so the verb is to target, no problem. But here we have another word in the middle, both. So it's ambos, two actions, to target ads and to estimate. Okay, so the adjective is effective. You are effective. This is effective. The computer is effective. That's the adjective. But the suffix ness represents the substantivo. So the effectiveness is the substantivo, the noun. That's the difference between the adjective effective and effectiveness. And here again, we have the possessive adjective. My bottle, your bottle, his bottle, its bottle, if it's Dublin, or their effectiveness. So very, very important. And here it's related to the plural, to ads, the effectiveness of the ads. Very interesting and very, very important. Yeah, interesting. So there's lots of important expressions, important grammar, important vocabulary, but this is just a little example of analysis of an article. And I recommend that you continue reading. Reading is the key. You need to read, analyze, analyze, analyze. This is the best way to be aware of grammar and also to learn vocabulary. So this is the key. You need to read, and probably I recommend that you try to read this article yourself. I would like to explain in detail for 2 hours, for 3 hours, this detail, but unfortunately I probably need food at some point, and it's just a little taste. This class is just an example of how to maybe learn English very well, or just to be conscious and to be aware of the importance. Okay, so I'll close this. And now I will show you maybe some phrasal verb lists. So I think last week we finished with think about, think up, think of, think over, think through, think. I think we had a few more, and I think we finished this phrasal verb to think. And throw is the next one. Okay, so throw is lanzar. Very simple, to throw. Lanzar, I think, is related to the military, because in English we have a lance, and a lance is the object, the old object that on the horse you have the soldier, and the soldier has the armor, the protection, and he has the stick. So the very particular stick is the lance, and this is probably the reason that the verb in Spanish is lanzar, which is like to throw, because for the lance in English in the past, they throw the stick to kill the people. So the verb to throw is important. We have a phrase, a verb to throw away, and most people understand this. So if it's rubbish, if it's garbage, you throw away because you do not want. And it's possible metaphorical, it's possible physical object. For example, the bottle, you throw away the bottle, but it could be metaphorical for an opportunity. You have a great opportunity and you blow the opportunity. The significance is to waste your opportunity. Okay, so to blow your opportunity, but we say the same to throw away your opportunity. So you have a great opportunity and you waste your opportunity, you throw away your opportunity, or you throw away your chance. Okay, very important. So to throw out is the same as rubbish. So if you have the bottle and you want to keep the bottle in the house or in the room, keep in, but the opposite is to throw out, because you want it out of the house, out of the room. That's the significance, to throw out. It's also possible in a disco or at a party or with security. If the person enters the place and it's not permitted to enter, the security need to throw out the person. In court, if the judge has the case and the judge is reading the case and the case is not acceptable, the case is not good, the judge needs to throw out the case. So it's very flexible in the different contexts in English, and it could be people at the party, it could be people at it could be the court for a court case, throw out the court case, or it could be rubbish. You don't want the product anymore, so you throw it out. Okay. You have another one as well, which is very famous, to throw up. And this is very literal for food. So for example, you eat food and the food is very, very bad and you feel sick. And after 1 hour, you throw up the food. So it's like to vomit. Okay, so the verb to vomit is the same as throw up. Maybe it's another possibility in another context. So the meeting, you have a meeting with your friend or a meeting in the company, a very formal meeting in the company. And after the meeting, the content of this meeting threw up a new problem or a new issue. So it's almost like possibly to create a new issue or a new problem. So for example, the meeting threw up a new dilemma. Okay, and the significance is the meeting created a new possibility. That's the most typical with throw up. It's vomit or maybe to create. To throw back is possible. So for example, my water, I have this quantity of water remaining, this quantity of water left, and my friends are waiting for me to finish my water before we go to the party. So I feel pressure to finish my drink, so I throw it back. And the significance is you drink it very, very quickly. Okay, so to throw the water back or to throw the drink back is to drink very, very quickly. That's the first significance. The second significance is very common also. And we say a throwback. So it's in relation to time. So for example, on Instagram, social media, it's very famous to throw back. And that means to go back very quickly or to go back very fast to a memory or to the past. So for example, this jacket maybe is a throw. For example, this jacket is very old fashioned. Imagine this jacket is very old fashioned. So this jacket is a throwback. It's, it was popular in the past. That's the significance of a throwback. Very typical in relation to memory or to relation to memory or relation to past fashion. Okay, or a football player, the style, the football style is very old fashioned. So this player is a throwback. Okay, obviously literal as well. If you are running and you have an impact, it throws you back. So it's possible literal and it's possible in other contexts as well. Throw down, it could be literal again, so throw down the book, but it's possible in a context of a challenge. Okay, so for example, if I want to play my friend at sport because I want to beat Venether, I want to beat my friend, I throw down the challenge and I say, okay, John, I want to play you, or Michael, or Stephen. You just say, I throw down the challenge. So I want to play you in sport because I think I can beat you. So that's throwing down the challenge. Okay. And probably that's the only context with the throw down. Throw away, throw up, throw in. Only possible in sport because the football is off the pitch and out of the pitch or in the pitch. And when it's out of the pitch, you need to restart the match to throw in. Okay, so to throw in is typical in football, and maybe it could be to contribute as well. You remember last week we said the verb to chip in, which is like to contribute. So for example, people need money to organize the party. People need money to organize the holiday. So people need to chip in, people need to contribute money, or people need to throw in money. Okay, we have an expression as well to throw in the towel. So the towel, just in relation to other languages, the towel here is after the shower. You need a towel to dry your body. And Bulgarian, Chinese, Croatian, Czech, Dutch, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Hungarian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, a lot of languages, obviously Polish, Portuguese, Tualha, I don't know if that's good, but I know in Spanish, toalla. Sorry for my pronunciation. So the expression is to throw in the towel is in boxing, when the boxer is fighting and the manager wants to surrender. So the manager throws in the white towel to help his boxer because they want to quit because they are losing. So to throw in the towel is to quit. And of course, not only in boxing, we use this metaphor in lots of situations. So in work, if the job is very difficult, you throw in the towel, you quit. Okay. That's very, very famous, to throw in the towel. To throw back, to throw under the bus. Yeah, we have one expression as well. To throw, this is horrible. To throw someone under the bus obviously is disgusting and horrible, but the expression is a metaphor for other situations in work when you blame, okay, to blame someone, como culpar, and the manager has the problem and the manager wants to identify the person responsible for the problem. So there's two possibilities, two candidates. Maybe it's this person, maybe it's the other person. And this person says, oh, it was Stephen. Okay, so this person blames Stephen and this person throws Stephen under the bus. So he blames him and this person has a lot of consequences for the action. So that's a very, very famous expression. And here you can see to throw away is to discard, no problem, typical with rubbish. So don't throw away those bottles. Remember, this bottle, that bottle, these bottles, and those bottles. It depends on singular and position. We can, it's a possibility, it's ability, recycle them, okay? So discard, and again, throw out is the same because probably the product is in the house and you want to throw out of the house. The same with away, the product is here and you don't want the product, so you want to throw away. So they're very, very similar, just different movement, but basically the same significance to discard. So I asked, the past regular, I asked him, masculine, not to throw. So that's important because the difference between no and not is typical with the verb, and no is typical with the adjective. With the noun, for example, no time, and also no, not is typical with the adjective. Okay, so for example, not hungry, not tired, but no time. So that's very, very important. And here it's the verb, not to throw out the Sunday newspaper because I wanted the past to save, to keep, save money, save time, to save an article, okay? Throw out, as I said, for security, if the person is not welcome, to remove by force, school, house, disco, party, room. And the example is Mary threw, it's irregular, in the past, threw out her roommate because she stopped. It's the past simple and it's regular, well, except there's two P's, paying the rent, okay? So that's very important as well. Again, to vomit, to throw up. And that means when you eat the food and it's not good and you throw up, it's to vomit, okay? And the example, if, conditional, if you drink, subject, verb, too much alcohol, because alcohol is uncountable, we say 1 glass of alcohol. So glass is countable, 1 bottle, 2 bottles. So bottle is countable, but alcohol, it's not possible to count. So for this reason, we say too much and not too many. You might throw up. Okay. So they're the typical phrasal verbs with throw. And just to refresh, we can throw away, we can throw out, we can throw up, we can throw back. And as I said, a throwback is something that's from the past. Throw down a challenge, throw in for football, and throw in the towel. So they're the most typical expressions with the phrasal verb. So that's very good for today. We had the introduction for the grammar, we had the analysis of the article, and now we had a little analysis of some phrasal verbs. So very, very important vocabulary, very typical in the conversation, very typical in movies, very typical in everyday situations. So for this reason, it's good practice to see the vocabulary. And I think that's probably good for today. Remember, we have social media. So if you want to connect on social media, you're welcome to find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube and Facebook. We have all the material and all the content after the class. I upload the video to YouTube and to Facebook, and there are the details here if you want. Okay. Remember, if you want to make a small donation, you are welcome. There are 3 possibilities. The first possibility is direct with the bank transfer. You can see the information here, and there's no commission. That's probably the best for me. The second possibility is the application Revolut with the mobile phone number. That's the only information that you need. And the third possibility is the application Bizum as well with the mobile phone number. That's all you need. PayPal is possible, but I think there's a little commission in relation to that. But that's all the information if you want. Remember, today at 4 o'clock, we have the grammar webinar specifically dedicated to a topic in grammar. And there are some questions and some exercises, and you are welcome to join today at 4 o'clock. And that's all the information that you need. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. I hope that you have a good Monday, and I hope the weather continues good. And thank you for watching. And remember, every day you're welcome to join on Zoom to attend the class. And thank you so much. And I hope that you have a very good day, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.